Up, guys, and welcome back to Knuckles FM, episode 3. Technically, it's, I think, 6, but we're 3. The others were pilots. The past 3 have been actual episodes. But what is up, guys? Welcome to the show. We have quite a bit to talk about. We are talking about Australia banning social media for people under the ages of 16. Kind of wild. I can understand a wee bit, but pretty wild. And then we got Netflix apparently bought Warner Bros. Is this the end of movies? Cinema? Is it dying now? Is it dead? Was this the final nail in the coffin? And we got a very, very, very interesting case we're going to talk about. Brian Welsh, who allegedly murdered his wife and didn't clear his Google history. That is a mess of its own. Drink of choice tonight? Crown apple? No. Okay, I'm already drunk. Drink of choice tonight is Crown Vanilla with Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero. Now, did I forget there was cherry in the Dr. Pepper before I poured it? Yes. Is it still pretty good? Yeah. Quite a bit to talk about today, but I just want to first off and say thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the show today. Means a lot. Means a lot to me, my guy and girl. But we're gonna go ahead and deep dive into these because I mean, last week's episode was pretty much a good length. Honestly, I'm looking at like 45 minutes minimum, if I'm being completely frank with you guys. But I wanted to at least start the show off and talk about this very interesting Australia law that passed. My notes are scattered right now. I'm not gonna lie. Australia just did something that sounds absolutely wild on paper, and social media, man. Gosh darn it. Hey, music's messing me up. I can't read. Australia just did something that sounds absolutely wild on paper. A social media ban for anyone under the ages of 16. And before you picture cops tackling 15-year-olds for liking an Instagram reel, it's not what it is. It's not that serious at all. It's but it is one of the strictest moves we've seen anywhere in the whole world. Honestly, this is like the first time I've seen this. I mean, the UK is doing this whole social media weird thing right now. I've seen people get arrested for liking certain things or posting stuff on social media in the UK. Freedom of speech, is it gone? Maybe. I don't know. Am I going to be arrested for posting this video? I hope, so I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Pretty much, the law is basically to minimum. The law is basically a minimum age requirement for having an account or certain social media platforms. Key phrase, have an account. Not seeing the internet, not owning a phone, not watching videos. It specifically targets logged in social media accounts. So, what does this mean? You can't get a TikTok account. You can't get an Instagram account or a YouTube account until you are above the ages of 16. Smart, honestly. Growing up with the internet, probably not a bad idea. I'm not going to lie. I was too young to have a Twitter account, and this is before Twitter became, it's always been the Wild West, if I'm being completely frank with you. I watched some people die on Twitter at some random points, and it traumatized me a little bit. I was like, you know what I can go without seeing every so often? Nature is metal. I have a friend who will send me that. I blocked him. I understand nature, wild. Nature is cruel and awful. I don't need to be reminded that. I just know it is. I know how messed up the world is, but I don't need to be seeing that. Stop sending me the videos. All right? I don't care to watch a monkey's eye get popped out after his skull gets crushed. Okay? Stop. Poor little monkey. So pretty much, they're just trying to cut down this whole from people getting an account, and because bullying's a big thing, and teen scrolling, doom scrolling is one of their biggest things because it probably does affect the brain. They don't want these kids to be ruined for doom scrolling for hours and hours and on, like more. It's awful. And honestly, I can relate to that because there's been times I should have went to bed, but I'm doom scrolling on TikTok. And it's like, what are you doing, my guy? Just go to bed. So for these 16-year-olds, it'll be a lot easier. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting because I think it's passed, but it's not in effect yet. The punishment is aimed at the platforms, not the kids, not the parents, and yes, the fines are massive. First things here, though. Here's where I have an issue, is that they're only blaming the platforms. This whole ban it shouldn't just be aimed at making the platform owners or like the platforms the enemy. The parents need to be slapped as well. Because if I'm being frank with you, a good parent won't allow it. The parents should have consequences as well. That's a lot of the things. Is like a 12-year-old commits suicide, and they're like, oh, they were getting bullied online. Why did your parents allow you to have a Twitter or a TikTok account at 12? It's illegal, first of all, because the age, I think, is the youngest age is 13. But you know what I mean? You kind of get what I'm saying. The parents need to be responsible about what their kid is doing online, because a lot of the parents like, oh, I just never knew. So you never looked at your kid's phone? Well, first off, why did you give your kid a phone? I didn't get a phone until I was a freshman in high school. I was missing out a lot. Vine? I caught the last quarter of Vine. I didn't have a Vine. I got to Vine when it died. I got to be on Vine for one whole year. That was it. So that was cool. It's often called a ban. The government more like to delay the social media accounts. Under 16 can still access content when they're logged out, stay on service where that's possible. The main target is the account itself. They just don't want these kids to have an account because then they can't read their algorithm and then they can't get like push stuff. I don't really know the whole base thing of it. But it's very interesting to me, and I do want to know what you guys think about this whole thing, because I can understand for the sake of like cyberbullying, harassment, grooming, unwanted content, addictive design, and sleep loss, unhealthy social comparisons, and exposure to content that messes with mental health. If I'm being frank with you guys, a 13-year-old should not be seeing that stuff. I get like a 13-year-old should not be seeing a car accident. Because what happens when you see a car accident? You want to watch another one. And then it gets to a point where you're looking at, in another country, at some press where it spins and some person gets their arm stuck in it and they get sucked in. I've seen it. Not healthy. So I understand this ban. All right. For the sake of the whole not wanting to get bullied part, it's 100% on the parents' part for sure, but I can understand it. I do want to know, what do you guys think of this whole ban and situation? I don't know too much about it. It was just really my 2 cents on it, because truly a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old should not be on social media whatsoever. Yeah, I get it. They want to watch their favorite content creator, but listen, buddy, when you're 16, go for it, So, I don't know. That's where I stand. I'm not going to knock them for doing this. I actually back it. I think I'm going to stand with Australia here. The backlash that they're facing, though, is free speech and constitutional challenges. I'm sorry, isn't Australia? They don't follow the United States Constitution, so okay. There's a legal front. The right group has been preparing to challenge seeking to stop the law rollout, arguing it restricts communication rights. That case isn't the whole story of law, but it shows how high the stakes are. I don't know. To be honest, I'm with Australia at this point. Just get these kids off of social media. We don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. All right, we don't need it. Kids don't need it. We don't need it. If I'm being honest here. So yeah, just comment down below what you guys think of that, and we'll just go ahead and move on to the next big thing that actually it came out today. Today, I woke up this morning, got on TikTok. First thing I saw, Netflix buying Warner Bros. And I already took my morning shit, but I shit a brick once I read it. I was like, oh no, because there was a big deal, I think it was a couple of months ago, when Warner Bros. Announced they were going to be leaving, which I think was already talked about for quite a while. But now, when I was looking at who was looking at it, which was Paramount Plus, which was going to be very Trump administration pushed if they got it, which, if I'm being honest, I don't need the government making any content entertainment for me. I kind of want someone else. And then you got Netflix was one, and I immediately said no to that because it's all going to go straight to streaming. And I don't know. I feel like the quality is going to go down and cinema is going to be dead because nobody's going to be going to the movies anymore. We're going to our couch. We don't need to go to the theater. It's on Netflix, guys. Turn it on. Netflix and chill. You want to see the new Superman and chill? Maybe. But then I don't know who else was looking at it, like ABC, which was like, what? I don't know. But Netflix is buying Warner Bros. And when I say Warner Bros., I mean the Content Kingdom Warner Bros. Films and TV studios, HBO, HBO Max, and the absolute mountain of IP, Harry Potter, DC, Game of Thrones, the catalog that basically raised all of us. I haven't seen Harry Potter, the first 2 movies, that's about it. But I was planning on watching the show when it came out on HBO. Now, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know it's going to come out. Do you guys think it's going to come out? I don't believe so. Maybe. Money. There's money to be involved. They're already, I think, done filming, or they're still filming season 1. They're probably going to do it, but I've also seen them scrap a bunch of movies anyway. Netflix is getting the big stuff. Warner Bros. Films, TV studios, HBO Max, major. Yeah. We got that. WBD cable style networks are being separated into a different component. Global Networks, cable side. The deal was announced but not closed. It is still has to clear regulators and close after WBD's separation plan. What is this? Reported price circles around about 27.75 per share for WBD shareholders, cash plus Netflix stock. The Netflix also agreed a large breakup termination fees if the deal falls apart. Netflix is pitching $2 to $3 billion in cost savings within a few years after closing. Classic merge math, combined team, merge tech, cut overlap. I don't know what I just said, but I read it. It's I don't know how I feel about Netflix getting it, because it's gonna raise the price of Netflix 100%. Theatrical releases is where I was really at on how I'm not a huge fan of this. Because, Some people think this is bad. Kills the competition. A former Warner Media CEO criticized the idea of fast track a reduced competition in Hollywood. Theaters are nervous. Their knees are shaking, and we can hear them. We can hear them bones crackling because the theaters are dying anyway, if I'm being completely frank with you guys. I've gone to the movies. Past 5 movies that I've gone to, 3 of them, we had people talking in there. And I've never wanted to commit a crime in a movie theater, but I almost got an assault charge 2 times. It was bad. It was bad. Someone, when I went with my buddy to Fantastic Four, back corner, somebody was talking the whole time. Whole movie. And we were surrounded by like a group of like 10 people behind us and 2 people on each side. And we were just dealing with it, but we were all complaining. And when they left the theater before the after scene credit, we all were clapping for them. It was pretty funny. And then we made friends with the people behind us. We were all clapping like, yeah, it's about time you leave. Gosh, nothing pisses me off more than somebody talking or being distracting in a movie theater. You came to a movie theater to watch a movie, not to socialize. Get the fuck out before I put my boot in your ass. All right? All right. Think we got it clear? Yeah. Exhibitor groups have warned about damage to theatrical releases and broader ecosystems if Netflix controls a major studio pipeline, given Netflix streaming first tendencies. That's where it's going to suck, because they just had a movie come out, the Frankenstein movie. They put it out in theaters for like 2 weeks and then pulled it and put it on their Netflix. And nobody went and saw it in theater. Nobody went and saw that movie in theater. And this is where I'm at, because I'm actually kind of safe because I have my own little home theater I built this is why I did it. I built it because I was getting tired of dealing with people at the theater and going out, to where I made my own little theater experience, my guy. It's my own experience. It's at my home. My dogs are there. We got a 120-inch screen, nice ass projector. Cost me about $1,300, but worth it. Worth it. And I'm going to be watching all the movies on there. If I'm being completely honest with you, I've been doing that for about 4 years now. Now there is movies where I really care if I get spoiled or not. I won't go see it. Or I will go see it, and then that way I can see it in the theater before I get spoiled. But there are some movies I'm like, you know what? I can wait another month and a half, and I'll let it come to my house. You know? You know what I mean? Hollywood balance power freak out. Reports say group of film producers urge Congress to scrutinize the oppose the deal, warning it could concentrate too much power. I don't understand that. Now we're getting into a field I have no business being in, if I'm being completely honest. They're just scared because it's literally Netflix has got a chokehold on a lot of things now. HBO, will it still be around? Maybe. They might shut HBO down, you know? Now, the big nerd part of me, this is where I'm nervous. James Gunn. He had a vision for DC. Are we going to see it after this whole deal is done? I don't know. Because the whole James Gunn deal, it sounded like we had a 10-year plan. And we're getting Supergirl next. Then we got a Clayface movie. And then we got the new Superman movie. And then a Green Lantern show. But Netflix, I don't know if you guys know this, the Snyderverse is on Netflix. Yo! Cheered. One cheer. One biddy. Thank you so much. But the Snyderverse is on Netflix right now, and we're all worried that the Snyderverse is going to be restored. I don't believe it will be. If it does, I don't know about it. I truly don't know. If they're going to go back, then I don't know what DC's doing at this point. DC's better off just reading the comics, because I'm tired of this whole live action crap. Marvel ruined it because they're just trying to still do better than Marvel did, and Marvel killed it, honestly, all the way up to Endgame. After that, they can die. But no, literally, this whole Netflix purchase, it makes me wonder what we're going to do with all the DC movies, because they may kick James Gunn to the curb, if I'm being honest, and a lot of his movies will just go straight to streaming. So it's very interesting. We don't know the whole detail about the whole thing yet, but it's, I don't know. The price is definitely going to go up on Netflix. Netflix is definitely going to raise prices to, what is it now? Like $25 to 30. If I was a bet man, $45. $45, because they might mash HBO and Netflix together. That's a lot. That's a lot of content. So I don't know. The theatrical part is also what I'm worried about, because what's going to happen is the new Batman movie that comes out could make a lot of money in theaters. They're only going to show it for like maybe a day or a week. But a lot of people aren't going to go to the theater, because you know what they'd rather do? They would rather be at home, not have to deal with people or any distractions at the theater, if they can watch the brand new Batman movie at home. Just like Stranger Things. That's the biggest thing Netflix has got, if I'm being completely honest with you. Netflix is chokeholding Stranger Things right now. We just got Volume 1. Volume 2 comes out on Christmas. It's 4 episodes. And we're getting that. And then the final episode is coming out on New Year's Day, I think. Around there. But they're going to release the final episode in theaters, only select, like 300 and something theaters, not global. So, if I'm being honest with you, here, I was talking to my wife about this. And you guys let me know in the comment after you hear this. So, imagine you've been watching a show for, it's been 10 years, 9 years. And you get all the way, and you love this show, all the way to the very last episode, and you're going to risk it all to maybe have a bad theater experience. You could have people talking behind you the whole time. You're going to risk that. It's definitely different if it was like multiple movies to where it's like, you know who's going to be going. But 9-year project of TV show, straight to theater, and you're going to I'm not risking it. I'm watching it at my house. I'm not going to the movies on New Year's Day. That sounds like a Dark Knight incident. You get what I'm saying? I hope not. I really hope not. If you get what I'm saying, I hope it's not that. If you don't get what I'm saying, that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Because you don't need to know what that is. But the price is definitely going to go up. And the theater releases, they're going to kill the theater, because now they're not going to want to put their movies out in the theaters when they're pretty much, in a way, imagine a streaming platform puts out a movie, a Netflix original, and they put it in the theater instead of on their site. Which one do you think they actually want to put where the people can go to? Their site. They want people in their site. They're not going to give a damn when it comes to theatrical releases. So theaters, we're bleeding out, guys, especially with HBO. HBO originals. Oh no. I don't know how I feel about this. It was probably the worst thing to read this morning. Now, when it comes to the average Joe who does not care about this stuff as much, big W win for them, because now they don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to worry about not going to watch a specific movie in a theater. And I mean, it's the biggest reason why I put a theater up in my room, is because, or not in my room, but I made a little home theater, is mainly for the fact of, I feel like a lot of movies deserve to be theatrically experienced. Is that a word I just made up? Maybe. I want to give every movie a chance on a projector screen and have a good experience. You know what I'm saying? Some movies deserve it, and some don't deserve a 32-inch TV. Now, if you have a 32-inch TV and you're watching this, no issue towards you. All I'm saying is, what's stopping you from getting a projector to put it on a 120-inch? You know, maybe give that movie what it deserves. All right. Comment down below what you guys think the whole Netflix shenanigans, because I am nervous for James Gunn Superman. Because, let me take a drink. I'll tell you what, if they cancel Peacemaker and all that. Peacemaker season 2 ended in the worst possible state it could ever end. If James Gunn's DC run goes away, we're effed. Guys, we are toasted because now we won't know what happens. I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch it because I want you to experience a disappointment like everyone did. The show was peak, and then the roller coaster lost its exit track. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's bad, guys. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm nervous. Does HBO Max become a tab inside of Netflix? Maybe. Do they keep it separate app for a while? Or do we bundle prices to look cheaper, then creep up later? It's all possible. I don't think they'll have an HBO Max section. They might. They actually might. It felt nice having two different apps to worry about, two different style of content. You know what I'm saying? HBO, I felt like had all the better stuff, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we'll go from there. But yeah, comment down below what you guys think about that. I'm scared for Netflix and HBO and Warner Bros. But here's where we'll bring the mood up. Have you guys heard about this Brian Walsh, who was on trial for first-degree murder? Anna, it's for his wife. His wife Anna, disappeared around New Year's Day, 2023. This is kind of old news, but it's all coming out today. Her body never been found. Never been found, guys. Anna Walsh was a real estate professional with ties to Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. Brian Walsh is her husband. Investigators say Anna was last known to be around the home area after New Year's Eve. Then she vanished from everyone's life, work, friends, everything. Anna was last seen around January 1st, 2023. She reported missing days later, launching a major investigation. Prosecutors argue earlier accounts about what happened and where Brian did not line up in the evidence that they gathered. All right. Digital footprint. Listen, Brian may not be the smartest guy. His digital footprint is bigger than Bigfoot's at this point. Oh my gosh. This man this is a boomer who doesn't understand how the internet works. And it did not work out in his favor. This is the piece that went viral. Prosecutors say investigators found a string of Google searches about decomposition, disposal, cleaning blood, whether someone can be charged with murder without a body. It's not funny, but I'm going to read you the list of Google searches this man Google searched. All right, this was all these searches are in the time span of January 1st. So the day she went missing. How long before a body starts to smell? How to stop a body from decomposing? How to embalm a body? 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. Which, that's wild if there's results to that. Can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? What does words? What is the formaldehyde? Gosh. How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? How to clean blood off a wooden floor? What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them? Day 2 of Google searching. Hacksaw, best tool for dismemberment. Can you be charged for murder without a body? Can you identify body with broken teeth? Day 3 of Google searching. What happens to hair on a dead body? What is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to surface in the woods? Can baking soda make a body smell good? Oh my God, Brian. His lawyer because that was read in the court. His lawyer is probably just Brian, the fuck is this? Could you imagine? Like, he pleads not guilty, and then this is his Google searches around the days his wife goes missing. Prosecutors have also pointed physical evidence they saw was recovered through parts of the investigation, including items described in reports about trash pulls and materials consistent with cleanup. On stream, keep this phrased as, prosecutors alleged and avoided overstating any one item in defense. I don't know what I was supposed to read there. Okay, this script was written out for me, and I'm just reading it as is. Cover motives carefully. Oh, see, I wasn't supposed to read that part either. Reporting has discussed marital tension and other angles raised around the case. Phrases as it raised testimony alleged by prosecutors and keep it grounded with outlets. So this is all alleged, by the way. I have to say that, I guess. I got to say it's alleged. It's all alleged. In defense, the defense matters. Brian Walsh has pled not guilty to the murder charges. The defense has argued a different narrative and disputes the state theory. Make it clear, a jury decides what's proven beyond reasonable doubt. So, I mean, if I'm the judge and his Google searches get read like that, and that's his searches, not looking good for you, Brian. It's not looking good for you. I was about to chew some ice. I know better. As in early December, this is where I started seeing it on TikTok. The case has been in court with witness testimonies and evidence being presented. So that's where we got this whole Google search stuff. So that's the picture, a missing person case with no recovered body. Digital trail, prosecutors say, is incriminating and competing narratives in court. Drop your thoughts below based on what evidence, not TikTok fan fiction. And I'll do a follow-up when the trial develops. So what do you guys think? I don't know. I feel like when his Google searches got, read in court and they weren't looking good for him, I'd say man might be guilty. He might be guilty. But it's one of those where it's very interesting to say if your wife goes missing and then your best case scenario, you start Google searching, how long does it take for a body to decompose? Can baking soda make a body smell better? That's wild, honestly. It is sad for what happened to Brian's wife. I'm sure it was awful. It's sad the body's not been found yet. He knows, too. And it's been, 2 years? About to be 3. It's sad. It's about to be 3 years. He knows what happened. Just say it, bro. You're already caught, my guy. You're already in the shitter, Quit making this hard for everybody else. Give some closure. Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened to your wife. We know what happened. That one had me giggling a little bit too much. I apologize. It's just, I think the part that I'm giggling so much about it is that the fact that Brian is a fucking moron and Google searches criminal stuff. So, yeah. It's hard to say what's going to happen there. But yeah, that's really all I had for you for the show. So I guess I had 10 more minutes. What do I chat about? Netflix. Let me tell you something. if Netflix gets this and it turns out to be a shit show, I'm gonna cry. I think I'm not against stuff going straight to streaming, because I will say I'm perfectly fine with it, but it's just gonna suck for the theater experience. So many movies have imagine watching Endgame at home instead of a theater. Some people are perfectly fine with it, but me, nah. I need that big screen. I need that IMAX. I need the big D. I need AMC's big D. I need to be in that D, and I need to experience greatness. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I could watch a typical movie at home. You know, there's so many movies I'd rather be watching in a theater, but instead, we might be watching them at home. All right, I can't really drag this on. Now it's just going to be a bad short episode today. That's all right. It's Friday. We'll see you guys on Monday, and I appreciate you all hanging out here. A little draggy. If you can hear my dogs, I apologize. I'm going to go investigate now, and hopefully Brian Welsh is not in my upstairs. Would be wild. All right, thank you guys for hanging out. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.